whatever, your burden decreased, whatever the case may be. They're working for you. So there's all these guilds out there that, but for the masses, it doesn't help the guy out on the street. So this whole idea that, Alex Jones talks about, a boom for Main Street. I can understand him. You want to inject, some immediate help and relief. I get that. But let's not just do it as a temporary measure. Let's do it as a permanent measure. He's talking about a bubble, and that's really not a good way to describe this thing. A bubble indicates that it's going to have to be popped at some point, and then you let the air out of it, and then you've got more poor people, more wealth and income disparity. So no, that just, that's this idea of tweaking it, and even worse than just tweaking it, but tweaking it at very temporary measure. Triage, for example. No, we've got slow, steady changes. We want evidence, man. We want the proof to be in the pudding. We want our currency to go up in worth in the aggregate, the market basket of goods, in the mix. Okay, across the board, we want our currency to go up in worth, not down. That's not progress. That's not economic progress. That's economic regression. Remember. So it's very easy to tell, if things are getting better or worse by the worth of your currency. Herein lies the debate. What is the most certain, logical, reasonable, scientific, mathematic, sound, appropriate, honest, intellectual, solid method to fix our problems? To understand we were all very individual and changing and coming from entirely different paradigms and points of view. It's very important to understand that people believe differently, but they can still be for humanity, but they're completely at each other's throats and divided now. Okay, so we've got to come together, and that's what I think. I really want this video to be about, us coming together. Stop vexing each other's spirits and start working for the whole good of humanity, to pull ourselves out of this muck and mire, extricate ourselves from this train wreck, okay, economic, social train wreck that has been foisted and crammed down our throats. We've got a good commies and good capitalists, just good humans, socialists and liberals and conservatives and Democrats and Republicans, just fellow Americans, fellow human beings. Come together and treat each other the way we want to be treated. If we just adhere to the teachings of Jesus, that one thing he taught is so powerful. And this is the new commandment, man. This is the one we're going to stand before him and say, did you in all your affairs abide by the golden rule? Yes, God, I did. Are we going to be able to stand there and say that? Deep down in your heart, did you have any elitist? Did you embrace any elitism? Were you anti-equality in any way? He'll ask you. Otherwise, how are you living by the golden rule? Won't he ask you? So, God's not stupid in any way, and he's not going to buy a lot of psychobabble rolling around in my head, your head, or anybody else's head. So it's a very serious thing, this thing we call salvation, and where we go from here. Okay, that's what I'm trying to convey, impart, get across to people, because that to me is most important, is our eternal salvation. Are we going to a better place from here? Are we going to be found worthy, deserving of going to a better paradigm, a better reality, a better realm, whatever? We know we got to give up this no matter what. We all know. I mean, it's science that we're mortal. We got to give up this mortal coil. So are we going to be found deserving to inherit a better one from here? That's what we need to ask ourselves. Or do we believe in reincarnation like the Rosicrucians, that you're going to come back into your family if it's an aristocrat, an aristocratic family or whatever that's got a lot of money, and you think you're just going to be born back into the family? It just goes on and on. History repeats itself. And that to me is a lot of psychobabble, okay? Because, God would do the opposite and say, oh, you think that's the way it works? No, you get to come back as a third world child, so you have the right point of view. You have that opposing point of view, okay? Just like the stuff I'm talking about here, is that we're all coming from different places, and when we see people that have a totally different view, and we think they're totally evil, totally liars, totally deceived, whatever it is, you still need to treat them as yourself, as you would want to be treated if you wholeheartedly believed passionately with every fiber of your being in the stuff that you're sticking up for. Like so many of these rabid communists, fascists, whatever you want to call them. But just understand the crony capital is just as bad and worse in my mind, because they're sneaky, they're cunning, they're more diabolical, they're more attached at the hip to Satan, believe it or not. I really believe that. That's what turns so many people commie. Be Che Guevara sympathizers. It's the people, stupid. It's about the people, right? Socialism, Robin Hood, take from the haves, give to the I get all that. But we're all being duped to be at each other's throats over these things. This is what we got to get across to one another. The waters of reality have not only been muddied, but they've been bloodied. And maybe this Oroville Dam thing is emblematic, indicative, symbolic of the big changes that humanity is facing. That's unprecedented changing. So this isn't just history repeating itself. These are big changes that are coming to humanity. Okay, one way or another. Even if Donald Trump is killed and every sympathizer out there is killed that's on the side of humanity, that's working against the establishment and the system. Okay, one way or another, it's going to change. God's will is going to be established on earth. Yeah, we all need to remember how enjoyable, how much fun we could have with our lives, exploring all the avenues of learning out there, of recreation out there for us, just to be God's kids. That's what He wants for us. He wants us happy and free. He wants us to explore the limits of our intellect. He wants us to engage, building all kinds of cool technology. It's all okay. He wants us to confront the evildoers. He wants all that disruptive technology released, all that suppressed clean energy technology. He wants an end to this, what do they call this consumerist attitude where we've got this planned obsolescence, building stuff to be outmoded, outdated, building stuff to break. He doesn't want that for us. He wants us to be free. That's what's logical. That's what's reasonable. And it's because we're His kids. And He loves us and understands us like nobody else can love and understand us. And He's the only one that can really judge us in the sense that He's going to either reward us greatly with inheriting the surface of the earth, a much beautiful, better earth than the one we know now, a much better existence than the one we know now, or He says, in my great authority and wisdom, I'm going to send you to hell. Okay, it's up to Him. So, we need to not worry about the one that can kill us out there, just kill our mortal body, but the one that can send us to hell, that can destroy both soul and body by putting us in this place that we're still going to be alive, I guess. It doesn't say we're not going to exist anymore, but it's not a life worth living. So I would just like to convince anybody out there that's on the fence about this thing to be wholeheartedly devoted to jumping in that pool of humanity and being one of us. Anyhow, I'm done. And everybody have a great day, a great weekend, and we'll talk again sometime, I hope. And later on, I hope to post some video of the Oroville Dam if the roads aren't closed.